I'm not saying I won't accept any criticism, but I am saying that to me, these are the perfect first books in a fantasy romance series. Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, aka the series before Serpent on the Wings of Night. This is a slow burn fantasy that's very political. Our main character, Chisana, used to be a slave. She gets put under the apprenticeship of Max Antarius, who is a cinnamon roll. Slow burn romance. It's kind of like a master apprentice-esque romance, also borderlining on like a bodyguard romance. So good. Next is Blood Mercy by Bella Roth. Again, political fantasy romance with forbidden fated mates, a cool new type of vampire, spice and the steam and the banter. It's just fantastic. The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. I will say you have to read the novellas first. They just add so much. They are available if you are on Kindle Unlimited. Fated mates, but super reluctant. You have the last witch of her coven and a fae prince who is essentially like a witch hunter. Very political, insane. Of no surprise to anyone, When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker is on here. This is also the first book on my list that has like a memory loss trope. There are a couple. I'm not going to say every single one because it might be like spoiler territory, but just know I really like memory loss. Assassin main character with mysterious past, king of a kingdom who is down bad for her for unknown reasons, dragons, beautiful lyrical prose. Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. You should not be surprised if you see this on here. I just finished it. It was a 6-star read for me. The last third of this book was just non-stop action. So fantastic. I don't really want to say all the tropes in here, but it is somewhat of a portal fantasy, but she comes from a world that already is like in a fantasy setting. There are fae and vampires, and she is an alchemist. This is the first book in the Fae and Alchemy series. Next, we have North Queen by Nicola Tyke. This one is another one with the memory loss trope. It's right at the beginning, so you know what's happening. This is the first in a completed trilogy, but the author has said that she's working on having a total of 7 books in this series, but it does have a nice like complete ending. Nora wakes up in a forest with no memory of the past couple years and has found out that her father has died and she is next in line to be queen. This book is, again, very political, but it also has a wartime setting. We're dealing a lot with prophecies and fate and a shadow daddy king by Olivia Wildenstein about an angel who is trying to finish earning her feathers, and she does so by helping people on Earth who need to turn their lives around. It's like an urban fantasy Romeo and Juliet retelling. Reign and Ruin by J.D. Evans. This is a Middle Eastern inspired fantasy and the first book in the Mages of the Wheel series. There are 6 different spokes to the wheel and different types of fae witches that have powers. Our main character is the daughter of the Sultan who is fighting against the corrupt council and trying to make a real change and bring magic back into balance. And the male main character is so down bad for her. Savage Lands by Stacey Marie Brown. This is an urban fantasy that takes place 20 years after a war in which the barrier between Earth and the other world and the Fae has been divided. It takes place mostly in a prison setting with deadly games and a very mysterious and brutal Fae man. The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. Literally chef's kiss perfection. Badass female main character. All sorts of supernatural creatures. Another really powerful yet cinnamon roll male main character. This is going to be a 5 or 7 book series. There's so much going on, but this was just a perfect opener. So many twists and turns. And last for this video is Never by Jessa Hastings. This is the first in a 4-book series that is a Neverland retelling. This builds on the lore of Neverland so much. Main character is the great-granddaughter of Wendy Darling, and nothing is as it seems when she finally goes to Neverland. Peter Pan is not at all what she expected, not in a good way, and she can't help but feel drawn to the son of Captain Hook. What are some of your recs for a perfect first book in a fantasy series?